Cleopatra, the founder of ancient medicine, the author of cosmetics, and Marcus's enchanting woman. I know I've always told you how she won her wars through relationships. But was Cleopatra's intelligence only about relationships? Of course not. Today, along with her relationship with Marcus, I will tell you about her work in medicine, cosmetics, and alchemy. Grab your tea or coffee and come back. This topic will become clear in this video. Chapter 1: Cleopatra and Science. Cleopatra was not only dealing with snakes in her laboratories. She had developed formulas for skincare using herbal extracts and minerals. With milk baths and the use of sea salt, she helped remove dead skin cells from the body. She had her own perfume workshop. She studied the chemical interaction of different essences, trying to find the most captivating scent. At the same time, she was a linguist. She read texts in different languages and used them in her research. To ensure Egypt's economic prosperity, she worked on standardizing weight and measurement science. This provided methodological consistency. She also had studies on alchemy and the creation of gold. She wrote Cosmeticon, an important work in the field of medicine. This book was not only about beauty, but also included medical treatments. And that changes everything. Now, gossip time. Cleopatra was said to regularly take milk baths. This is why her skin was always glowing. People said skin like hers could only belong to the gods. Ancient sources say she did this deliberately, trying to present herself to the public as a goddess. And it is also said that she established a perfume workshop because she wanted to impress the people in front of her with her scent. It is even said that the symbol seen in pharmacies today came from her. Just imagine that, a queen using scent as power. Chapter 2: Ametobion, the Society of Inimitable Livers. We compared Marcus and Cleopatra during the meeting in Tarsus. Marcus had never seen a woman like this in his life. Her tone of voice, her way of speaking, her scent, her intelligence. It was impossible not to be impressed. He came to Alexandria, but he postponed the Eastern campaign he had wanted so badly. The Parthians could wait a little longer. He would eventually deal with them somehow. But Cleopatra was different. She was unmissable. The historian Plutarch described it like this: Alexandria was the capital of art, science, and feasts at that time. Cleopatra and Antonius gave each other banquets every night in turns. The expenses were unimaginable, and the entertainment was excessive. They called this extravagant lifestyle Ametobion, meaning the Society of Inimitable Livers. According to Plutarch, the members competed every evening, betting on who could host the most exaggerated and magnificent feast. Now, gossip alarm. Yes, the gossip I'm about to tell you is one of Plutarch's memories. Antonius would disguise himself as a farmer and wander through the markets of Alexandria to observe the city. Cleopatra would also disguise herself to observe him and follow him. Another memory from the same period goes like this. Antonius, who loved eating fish, asked Cleopatra's cooks to prepare fish for him. Cleopatra secretly spoke to the cook. Food was one of the most important things for a man. Go, choose the best and freshest fish, and keep the fish dishes fresh. Whenever he wants it, let it always be fresh, she said. Cleopatra left nothing to chance, just as in everything else. Cleopatra was not just someone who adorned herself. She read books and conducted research. She never spoke Greek with her people. She was the first pharaoh to speak the language of her own people. Her weapon was not only her beauty. She was intelligent. Chapter 3. Octavia and the Twins. In 40 BC, Antonius had to return to Rome because of the death of his wife Fulvia and the tension with Octavianus that was sweeping through Rome. A peace alliance was necessary for him to spend time with Cleopatra comfortably. Octavianus, on the other hand, wanted to gather divided Rome back into his hands. And to get rid of Cleopatra, he came up with a brilliant idea. He wanted Marcus to marry his sister. And he got what he wanted. Marcus was not after the throne. He wanted to live peacefully with the woman he loved. Cleopatra learned this news in Alexandria. At that time, she was expecting twins from Marcus. Here comes the scandalous part. The Marcus who said, "I'm completely in love with Cleopatra," also had 2 children with Octavia. Their names were Antonia Major and Antonia Minor. In later years, Minor's grandson would become Caligula. A few years later, Marcus officially divorced Octavia. In 32 BC, he returned to Alexandria. He was ready to embark on the Eastern campaign he had dreamed of, and Cleopatra supported him in every way.
My love! I destroyed the Senate, declared war on Octavian, wonder darling!
Where's my Roman ice cream?
Wore my Arad Racer Legion, split an empire in half! The ice cream would have visionary man!
Chapter 4. The Donations of Alexandria. 34 BC. During an autumn season, a victory ceremony was held in Alexandria. Why? Antonius had conquered Armenia. This was a great victory. This was an unusual decision. In Rome, victory celebrations took place with the approval of the Senate. Antonius chose Alexandria instead. A giant stage was set up in the gymnasium square. 2 thrones were placed at the center of the stage. Antonius sat on the throne dressed as Osiris, while Cleopatra sat as Isis. Their children were dressed in the attire of the lands that would be assigned to each of them. Now hold tight. Rome was about to go furious when they heard this. You heard correctly. In a moment, Marcus was going to distribute Roman lands. Cleopatra, Queen of Queens and ruler of Egypt, Cyprus, Libya, and central Syria. Caesarion, the legitimate son of Julius Caesar, King of Kings. Alexander Helios, Armenia and the Eastern Territories. Marcus's son with Cleopatra. Cleopatra Selene, Cyrene. Rome had never seen anything like this in its entire existence. This ceremony went down in history as the Donations of Alexandria. The move Octavianus had been waiting for had finally arrived. If he declared war on Marcus, it would look like civil war. But if he declared war on Cleopatra, he would appear patriotic. And war was declared. Rome and Egypt were now at war. Gossip alarm. According to ancient sources, Octavianus had obtained Marcus's will. It is said that in his will, he expressed his wish to be buried with Cleopatra, and that the place he wished to be buried was Alexandria. Alexandria, not Rome, Alexandria. The Roman Senate was furious about this and announced that it would fully support Octavianus's war against Cleopatra. As you can imagine, everything became even more chaotic. Even more chaotic. Chaotic. Chapter 5. Actium. September 2nd, 31 BC. On the Actium promontory near Preveza in northwestern Greece, two fleets faced each other. On one side were Antonius and Cleopatra, 230 ships and approximately 50,000 sailors. On the other side were Octavianus and his commander Agrippa. One of Antonius's experienced commanders, Domitius Ahenobarbus, changed sides. The situation was already bad before the battle even began. This battle was going to be lost. Now gossip alarm. September 2nd, 31 BC. The battle had begun. Realizing the seriousness of the situation, Marcus withdrew Cleopatra toward Egypt with 60 ships. Marcus followed behind her. Historians explain it like this. Cleopatra's ship carried treasures, and she had to protect them. But was that the only reason? As a result of Marcus's retreat, the soldiers surrendered. Octavianus won Actium. Octavianus was Rome's rising star. There was no stopping now. He had to take Egypt. Cleopatra was aware of the situation. She was sending secret messages, perhaps seeking some kind of guarantee for her children. When Marcus heard this, he was devastated. He had lost his trust. Chapter 6. The Final Curtain. August 12th, 30 BC. And finally, Alexandria fell. How it happened is unknown, but Antonius received news of Cleopatra's death. He believed it and was shattered. According to Roman tradition, for an honorable death, he fell upon his sword. Wounded, he was carried to Cleopatra's side. He gave his last breath in Cleopatra's arms. Now, gossip alarm. When Octavianus entered Alexandria, he met Cleopatra and told her that he would take her to Rome and display her there. For Cleopatra, life had now come to a halt. She had lost the man she loved, lost Egypt, and perhaps would lose her children as well. As if that weren't enough, she would be kept as a captive in Rome. August 12th, 30 BC. Cleopatra put on her crown, adorned herself, and wore her finest clothes. She had always known this day would come. She lay down upon her golden couch. Ancient historians disagree here. Plutarch says an Egyptian cobra was brought in a basket of figs. Others say it was a painless and easy death she knew from her poison experiments. The outcome did not change. Either way, Cleopatra would not walk in Octavianus's triumphal parade. Caesarion, Cleopatra's son with Caesar, was executed. 2 Caesars are too many, they said. The 3 children Cleopatra had with Antonius were taken to Rome. Cleopatra Selene, in later years, became queen of Mauritania like her mother. Egypt was now a Roman province. The 300-year-old Ptolemaic dynasty had come to an end. The last pharaoh was Cleopatra VII. So what do you think Cleopatra left behind? A throne? A name? What could this woman, whose name is still spoken after 2,000 years, possibly have left behind? She even chose her own death. In her struggle for life, she even tried to conquer Rome. What do you think was Cleopatra's bravest move? See you in the comments.